information is life. Hi guys, welcome again to this channel. Information is life. This is one of the reasons I'm making this video for you who wants to go into social work profession. Don't just go there, get rightful information. If you know anybody that wants to go into social work profession, send them this video, do them this good, send them this video, let them listen to what I have to say, let them watch this video and watch till the end because they are going to learn a lot. Pursue the right education. It's important to pursue the right education. In some countries, if you study social work, they will employ you. If you study psychology, they will employ you as a social worker, especially if you know people that matters. And even if you study health science, that has to do with behavioral science in some countries. Like, what do I mean by that? If you study like psychology, sociology, like health education, anything that has to do with behavioral science, they can still employ you as a social worker. But in some countries, so many countries like that, if you don't study social work, they are not going to employ you as a social worker because they know what they are doing there. If you get what I mean. So if you know you want to go into social work profession, don't gamble with it. Go and have your BSc in social work. After having your BSc in social work, you should have your license. Be a licensed social worker. Depending on your country. If it's Nigeria, we have Nigeria Association of Social Workers. We have Association of Medical Social Work. We have lots of associations like that where you can get your license. If you already have your degree, maybe in psychology, in sociology, in any behavioral science, and you still want to go into social work, you can have your masters. Have your masters in social work. In social work, mark my word, that's very, very important. Have it in social work, then get your license, be licensed. Just like I said, have your license as a social worker. I have a videos where I spoke about different branches of social work. I think it's been 2 years ago that I made that video. You can check for the video so that you know about different branches of social work. So another thing you need to have before getting into social work career is that after having your master's in social work, you should gain relevant experience. That is very, very important. So make sure you gain relevant experience. It does not matter. You don't need to be employed as a social worker before you gain experience. You can volunteer. We have lots of volunteers in my hospital, like in my department. We have lots of volunteers. You can volunteer with NGOs that are social workers as well, like private ones. Then at the same time, you can seek mentorship, just like this video is a way of seeking mentorship, seeking information about social work. This something like this, have social worker that can mentor you, watch videos about social works like this. This would help you a whole lot. This is very, very important because when you eventually want to get a job as a social worker, they need experienced social workers, not about what you study in school. Social work is something that you practice, not just theory. You have to have experience to understand it better. So anybody that wants to employ social workers, they always want the experienced ones. So because this will give you better opportunities, going to be an added advantage. Another tip is that develop strong communication skill. As a social worker, you are going to talk. You will communicate. You cannot say you don't like communication and you want to be a social worker. It will not work. So you need to develop good communication skill. And what do I mean by communication skill? Communication is not just talking. Communication means that you interact with person, you pass information, the person you pass information to understand the information that you pass to the person. And in some cases, you get your feedback. That's communication. When we talk about communication skills, you must be able to listen, don't judge. Just like you listen, you don't judge. Because in social work, you are going to hear a lot of things, disappointing things, a lot of heartbreaking things, a lot of situations. We are going to hear about a lot of things happening in the world that if you are not a social worker, if they tell you that this thing is happening, you say it can never be. So it's very important to have great communication skill. Learn it, develop it. Make sure you communicate well with people around you, your family. You can start with that. Learn about it. You can watch videos like this. You can go online. Learn if there's any course you can apply for that talk about communication skill. Make sure you add this value to yourself. Build emotional resilience. Just like I said in my other points, that you're going to hear things that you never have believed that they could happen. A lot of heartbroken things. So you need to build emotional resilience or self-care strategies, because if you are not careful, these things will get to you. These things will affect your mental health. if you are not resilient with what you are doing, it can actually affect your whole life. It may lead to the stage that you will find it very difficult to trust people around you, to the extent that you won't be able to trust your husband with your children. You won't be able to trust your parents with your children, if you get what I mean. So a lot of things like that. So you need to be emotionally resilient, stay ethical and culturally competent, because everybody will, if you discover that when if you explain what social work is to so many people, they will tell you that I'm also a social worker because I helped this person before, because I've done this, I've done that. That's not social work. You are just doing community service. I don't know. Yeah, that's not social work. That's not what social work is all about. You need to be learned. That's one of the reasons you go to school to study social work, which makes you a professional. You need to stand out. People need to know that you are a professional and not just somebody that wants to help somebody. You need to be culturally guided, ethically guided to be a professional social worker. You know about ethics of social work. You should be aware of culture of where you are working. If you leave Nigeria to South Africa, you should be aware of their culture. If you are in Ibadan, you should be aware of what is happening around there that shapes the life of your client, that affects the life of your clients, if you get what I mean. So these things is very, very important. You need to read about it. You need to have information about all of these things. If you know you want to go into social work professions, understand medical terminologies, you understand medical jargons, medical diagnosis, the treatment and everything. Because you're going to have, let me take for instance, you have a patient who is diagnosed of cancer. You need to understand what cancer is all about, the stages of cancer. You need to understand the chances of that person even before meeting your doctor. You need to understand all of these things, because these people trust you more than anyone else. They trust you even more than their doctors. You are their friends. You are the one that they speak, they want to pour out their hearts to. For you to help them very well, the way you ought to, you need to understand everything that is going on in their life. At least, if not everything, if not 100%, to some reasonable percent. Not just know, you need to understand how to tell them about it, the language to use, how to make them understand, because they will come to you to ask questions. And if you don't know about it, how then will you answer them? You cannot. I believe you don't want to be telling them that you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. They just see you as an illiterate. So it's important for you to know about so many things. Get yourself involved. Get at work at every time. Have a continued professional development. Just like I said, I'm a medical social worker. I have been employed as a medical social worker. I needed to add value to myself, then go back. I go back for my master's. Let me tell you a fact. Even though I have my BSc in social work, I have learned and relearn a lot about social work since I have started my master. So I am not the same person that I used to be. Values has been added into me. So it's not a waste of money. You should keep adding value to yourself. Even if you are not a social worker, whatever profession you are doing, you should continue to add values to yourself. So that is it. That is very, very important. Another one is that you should develop the skill of advocacy, because you're actually an advocate. You want to fight for people's rights. You want to advocate for people to get help. You want to seek help on behalf of people. You must develop strong advocacy skill. These things are very, very important. These are the things, and I'm so sure that with this you will be fine. Like, you are already fine. You are, especially the fact that you should seek relevant education, seek proper education, seek rightful education. Every of these tips are very, very important. Thank you if you have watched this video to this end. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like, share, put on your notification bell, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye. Now that you have heard about social work, are you ready to be a social worker? I'm not forcing you, but are you really ready to be a social worker? Which one do you want to go for first? Do you want to seek education first? You want to build your communication skill first? Do you want to build advocacy skill first? Which one do you want to gain first? Do you want to get relevant experiences first? Which one? Comment it in the comment section, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.